There we are. I wasn't getting up. Yeah. Yeah, you smell that insert, don't you? He's like, wow, your feet are so fresh.
I love this story. I found this story yesterday and I posted it. It says Stephen Hawking angers Trump supporters with a baffling array of long words.
Is that you that posted that? I forget. I saw that on Facebook yesterday.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Demagogue.
Yeah, denominator. And Google reported a sharp increase in searches for the terms demagogue, denominator, and Stephen Hawking.
Searching for Stephen Hawking. Who the hell is this freaky son of a bitch?
Says later in the day, Hawking attempted to clarify his remark, telling a reporter, Trump, bad man, real bad man.
That goofy son of a bitch can't even talk. He's gonna tell me who to vote for.
I know.
I didn't get up.
Hi, Max.
There we go.
Hey, that's what he's working about.
Yeah, I forgot to say hi.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. This is just like.
Technical problem?
No, we're live. We're on finally. Yeah, they cannot seem to get it to go with my event. So that's
Really?
yeah. When I set up an event, it doesn't. We have a delay there.
I was gonna say we either have a delay or my neck's broken. Whoa! That's kind of freaky. Like watching myself. It's like it should be live, but I'm watching myself do something that I'm not doing. You know?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's strange.
Like I'm having an out-of-body experience or
Yeah,
something.
I'm clapping right now. I'm not. That's fucked up.
Okay.
Oh, there my head.
Max is the same. His barks are pretty much insane. No problem.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
I couldn't even see him. He's down at the bottom of the
nose.
at the corner of the screen.
Every time he barks, his nose goes up a little bit.
That's crazy. How is that camera even catching him like that?
I know.
That goes
Yeah,
down.
you're right. It does.
Oh, his nose coming up.
Because his head is way down there, and the camera's like.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it would get all that.
I need to figure this out at some point, but
Mm-hmm. But not right
but
now.
not right now because figure it out for right now. Welcome to those 80s kids remember. I'm Andy.
I'm Brian.
I'm Craig.
I'm Mike.
Yeah, that's Max.
And that's Max.
That nose down there is Max. Yeah.
They have no Liddy show intro
Oh.
like we used to for audio podcasts. And that's just because I don't know.
We need to get a theme song or something.
I have a theme song too, but I don't know how to get it to pump through.
You have a theme song?
Well, when we had our audio podcast, remember how I put that music, the thing where you did the thing?
Yeah.
Voice, you know, the
Yeah,
thing?
the Pepperidge Farm
yeah,
thing.
Yeah. So we have that, but
We need to get a video intro. Like
that
Ted Knight falling back in the
Yeah.
chair. Too close
I
for
had thought
comfort.
about that. That would be cool doing
Like-
like an 80s TV show kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
like
Like you got your back turned to
And
the
then you
camera, and then all of a
All
sudden
of a
you
sudden
turn around, you're like, oh, hi!
I kind of laughed. Yeah.
I didn't know you were there.
Oh, okay. So on this episode 2 of season 2 here on those 80s Kids Remember, we're going to be talking about elections of the 1980s. Presidential elections, seeing as this coming Tuesday, the end of the world is coming, otherwise known as Election Day.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be kind of fun to reminisce about the elections of the past. And there's a whole lot of Ronald Reagan in there, and
Oh yeah,
a
the
whole
whole
lot of
decade.
Bush one, as we call him now.
Dukakis, worst last name ever
Yeah.
for a presidential candidate.
Of course, Dan Quayle.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
little Dan.
Yep.
The
Potato.
The potato
Yep,
man. Yeah.
potato guy.
Yeah.
See, I can't blame you for that. You know,
It's a
one of
common
those
mistake.
words.
It's a
Yeah.
common mistake.
I've done it before, I think.
He just
I
did it
think
on a
he-
national level.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm not the vice president of the United
And
States.
that's not his only gaffe either. So it's
That's-
not,
no.
like, that's probably why it wasn't so forgiving, because when I was doing research for today's show, I'd go back and I'd read some of the quotes, some of which I have here. He was like, it really reminded me of Sarah Palin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shit that he would say is very kind of on
Yes.
the level of Sarah.
Quayle was kind of doofy. Yeah.
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 So
Yeah. He wasn't as annoying as Palin.
No.
He was more like, the frat boy that got stuck in the wrong place.
Yeah, exactly.
Max, stop.
You don't even know who
Didn't
Dan
you have a
Quayle
problem
is.
with Murphy Brown in one of the episodes
Yes,
she
but
did?
that wasn't until the 90s.
That was the 90s?
Was,
Okay.
that was, yeah, that was
Okay.
after, that was something,
Yeah.
how she was,
Yeah, what was the
She was a single mother.
the best
Yes.
ever comeback on a vice presidential debate was with Dan Quayle. It's Quayle said something about I'm as old as Kennedy was, and who was it that said it?
Jack Kemp?
I worked with John Kennedy.
Yeah, you sir, no.
You
sure
sure
are
are
no
no
John
John
Kennedy.
Kennedy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I can't remember who said that.
Was it Jack Kemp?
Was it Kemp? That's what I was.
Kemp was a professional quarterback, played in the NFL.
No.
Was it Kemp or was it that admiral, Ross Perot's guy? Why am I here? Who am I?
Stockdale?
Where am I?
James-
Why am I here?
Phil Hartman. Phil Hartman's James Stockdale
Yeah.
was great.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny. So we're gonna start at the beginning. The election of the 1980
Oh, I've got-
presidential election.
I've got that TV guy. John
Yeah.
Anderson was running. Not a country singer who sings swinging.
Right.
But,
It's like,
another John Anderson all together.
That would have been great. Though.
Yeah.
As independent or
Yeah.
libertarian.
Swinging into 81 with John
Right.
Anderson.
So we have the 1980 election, and we were in an area, I guess, of the country was in quite a bit of crisis at the time at the end of the Carter administration, which, didn't help Jimmy and his cause all that much.
No.
We had the OPEC energy crisis,
Mhm.
fuel, and
We
then
had
we
the
also,
Iran Contra.
right,
I was going to say, I
Well,
think
the
that was going on
hostages,
too.
the
Yeah.
The hostages.
hostages.
Yeah.
in Iran,
And Carter sent the helicopters to save them, and they got wiped out in a sandstorm.
Oh my
Was that
God.
right?
Is that what it was?
Yeah. He had sent the equivalent of Navy SEALs, the same thing that they did to get Obama.
Yeah.
He sent them to go and rescue the hostages, and a sandstorm whipped up and took out the two helicopters.
Oh, correct. I didn't know that.
Wow.
Well, I think Jimmy Carter's whole presidency was kind of a giant screw up, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
well, that's what people want you to believe, because there was the energy crisis. I can't defend him either way,
Yeah.
personally, but there was the energy crisis there with the OPEC and the hostage situation. Though
I always heard Jimmy Carter.
he was the one.
He was the guy who made that
happen.
happen.
He with the Algiers Accord. With the meeting of negotiations,
Camp David and all that stuff.
He's the one who got them
Yep.
together and worked on it.
But then Reagan took credit for it.
Well, it was that they were released in
At the beginning of his administration.
right as he was getting sworn into
Yeah,
office, just
right.
minutes after Reagan was
Oh,
sworn
was it
into.
that close?
Yes, they released the hostages, and of course from there we have sanctions against Iran or Iran. I don't know how you're supposed to say it, but that's kind of where that shit all started with what we're going through today and the quote unquote horrible deal that, you
Yeah.
know, Obama made with, you know, the Iran deal and all that kind of stuff. So,
Okay.
so you know, a lot of people will say that, you know, Carter was probably one of the worst, but, you know, there's other people who say he got a bad rap.
It's kind of a skewed thing.
Yeah.
It really is.
So,
Yeah, if you look at it as far as the popular vote goes, Reagan did not beat Carter by much at all.
Okay.
Right.
But electorally, he did some damage to him.
Yeah.
mhm.
And
Okay.
it didn't help that Ted Kennedy was putting up a fight to take the nomination away from Jimmy Carter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I suppose you.
yeah. At the national convention, when Kennedy lost, he refused to shake Carter's hand. That was a big to do as well.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Seems like in every election, I remember Jesse Jackson and Ted Kennedy running like every time. It just seemed that way. to
Jesse,
me.
yeah.
Jesse was popular
Jesse was
every
there.
election.
Jesse was there all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
So let's just get a scope of where we were at that time. How old were you? January 1st, 1980, Mike.
1980, I was 13 years old.
13, Craig.
When the election was going on, I was
January 1st, 1980. Let's just kind of give it.
3.
Were you really?
I was almost 10.
Okay, and I was 7, I guess, because I would have turned 8 that year.
Okay.
So yeah, Mike probably has the
Better insight. I would
best
imagine.
memory
Yeah.
of the 80 election anyway. So
Yeah.
a lot of this is what may seem to be new
Like I
to
said,
us.
my recollection of it is based on a TV guide, so
Right, right. So,
I don't know a whole hell of a lot.
but just to bring that up, and of course Reagan, he was an actor, and you know
Yeah.
he was president of SAG, the Screen Actors Guild Award, or excuse me, awards, the Screen Actors Guild, and
Made a lot of movies with a monkey.
yeah, governor of California.
Bedtime for Bonds.
That's right.
Yeah. From 1967 to 1955, he was governor of California. And this was interesting that I didn't know that when Reagan started his political career,
He was a
he
Democrat.
was actually a Democrat.
Yeah.
And then he started
Wow.
leaning to the right and then
Uh-huh.
officially switched parties in 1962
Yeah.
before taking, you know, the governor's office in California, which I thought was kind of interesting. So,
If you really look back on political history, that is when pretty much there was an entire flip-flop between Republicans and Democrats. Republicans had been the ones that people looked to for help with the unions and helping the little guy and all of that type of stuff. And then the Democrats took on civil liberties and civil rights,
right.
and the whole thing just flip-flopped, and all of those
Okay.
Southern Dixiecrats, all of those Dixiecrats quit and became Republicans.
Wow. Yeah, that's an interesting
Yeah.
time.
Kind of everything that led up to the shitstorm we're in today.
Yeah. Well, how long was he governor of California?
From 1967 to 1975, so
Okay, I was going to say, I thought it was a while.
It's a pretty
Yeah.
good run there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just under 10 years. And in his first campaign, you know, his fundamentals are that lower taxes, stimulate the economy, less government.
Was he Republican when he was governor?
State rights, yeah. Because
Okay.
he switched parties in 60.
Just like Kindergarten Cop when he was governor of California. He was Republican too.
Yeah.
And he was actually the oldest person to be elected to office.
That I knew.
Uh,
Yeah.
He was
Until this year.
What's that?
Until this year.
Why?
One of these two will now be the oldest
Oh, is
elected
that
to
right?
office.
They're older than 69?
Really?
Well, yeah, because Hillrod, didn't Hillrod just turn 69?
Did she?
She
Yeah,
just
she
had
just
a,
turned 69, and
she just had a birthday this
Trump
week. I
is-
think.
Trump is 72.
Yeah, yeah,
Really?
I was
I guess I forgot they were that. I lost track of the fact that they were that old.
yeah. Yeah, because sometime in the last week and a half or so here, Hillrod just had a birthday.
Well, they look better though. Reagan looked 69 when he was doing movies. He just had an old face. He looked like an old guy.
Yeah,
Oh, they used to sell the dried apple Reagan heads. You could dry an apple, and it would look just like Ronald Reagan.
That's never good for the self-esteem.
Okay, continuing on through the Reagan administration. On March 30th, 1981, do you know what happened that day?
March 30th of 81.
Of 81.
No.
Was that when what's his name tried to shoot Reagan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hinckley.
Yep, Johnny.
Hinckley, who was out of prison right now.
Right.
Yeah.
He an assassination attempt on Reagan right outside of the Washington Hilton Hotel. I forget why he was there. There was some.
I can't remember. I do
Conference
remember
or
my
something
whole
like that?
school going to in the cafeteria and watching it on
Watching.
TV though. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that happened, which that I remember quite well because it did spawn a bunch of satire. I am thinking of Saturday Night Live specifically with Eddie Murphy and Buckwheat,
Buckwheat has been shot.
which was just freaking hilarious.
Yep.
So
I
kept
remember
going to the clip.
I know I've told you about this, Brian. But
the slow motion buckwheat.
Oh, that's right.
Ted Koppel, everybody that they put on camera. Have you seen
the clip?
Have you seen the footage
Yeah.
of Buckwheat being shot? Well, no, I haven't. Well, then let's take a look. But when that episode aired, I don't know if it was that night or if it was a replay, but there was a babysitter over at our house. I know I told you about this. And I used to sneak out of my bedroom every once in a while, late. My babysitter's out sitting out there in the living room watching Saturday Night Live. That episode is on, and I'm standing at the table looking over her shoulder, and I'm like 5
in tears. They killed Buckwheat.
I don't get the fact that this whole thing is a joke, right? I seriously thought they shot Buckwheat, and this was a real. This was totally serious.
First Reagan, now Buckwheat. What the fuck is this world coming
I'm like
to?
standing out there like, my God, somebody shot Buckwheat. My God.
Well, yeah, because at 5 you don't conceptualize satire at
No,
all.
I didn't get that somebody would be joking about somebody getting shot. I didn't get it, until I caught on when Mary Gross was playing Alfalfa. They came, ooh, I'm hurt and confused. And I was like, wait a minute, that's not Alfalfa.
She was a great Alfalfa, man.
I don't know what to say. Then I caught on that it was a joke after that.
That's awesome. And, it didn't just spawn satire; it also spawned gun laws.
Right,
Because
the
James
Brady
Brady
Bill.
was messed up. Yeah.
Yeah, the Brady Bill, and there was actually I had the whole list, but I cut it down. But there was actually wasn't somebody killed in that? Was it Brady?
Brady wasn't killed. He was permanently brain damaged.
Okay.
There was a social security. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Random social security guy
Secret Service guy?
Secret Service guy. That's what I meant to say.
He get killed?
Secret Service guy get killed, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I was going to say, I know somebody took a bullet in that, besides Reagan, obviously.
Who wouldn't go on a killing spree for Jodie Foster, though?
He was like trying to impress Jodie Foster for some reason.
I'll show her what a cool guy I am.
Yeah.
Watch this.
From Taxi Driver.
Yes, from Taxi Driver.
It was inspired by that movie Taxi
Well,
Driver.
the whole thing was for nothing, too, because she's a lesbian.
True. Correct. She was in college at the time. I think she was at Yale. Wasn't she at Yale when that happened?
She might have been.
Yeah, she's like, first of all, not only do I like women, but you're a nut. Yeah, he lost on multiple fronts there. And he's out. They let him out.
Yeah.
Well, he never actually went to jail. He was in a psych ward for the whole time.
That's true. That's right. Yeah, you're right.
He'll probably have a pretty easy time getting his hands on a firearm now, too, actually.
I would imagine, yeah.
Go to a gun show. So of course, once he was fine, whatever. So he goes back and there was a lot of. I remember when I was young, we had the Cold War, and during the first term of the Reagan years, and so the fear of nuclear annihilation was kind of really started to get exacerbated a little bit.
Well, Reagan was talking shit, I think, if I remember right. He was like talking about how, we're not going to cave to any evil
Yeah,
power.
right,
you know,
right.
blah, blah.
So there was quite a bit of scare. You
Well,
know.
then Ivan Drago came into play, and he just put a whole new level of threat there.
Right.
I
And
will break you.
Yeah, and I think how Hollywood probably has a lot to do with the hey,
Oh God, yeah,
chill out. You
Yeah.
know, they're people
yeah.
just like us. So
Threads?
yeah.
You ever see the movie
Oh.
Threads? That British movie about nuclear war breaking out? It was made in
Uh-huh.
'84.
Threads.
Wow,
Yeah.
Threads.
We had to
I
watch
don't
it.
remember that one. I remember War Games.
War
Right.
games.
Thread sounds like the name of a blaxploitation
There was
movie.
the day
I mean,
after.
some fry
The
Threads,
day
yeah.
after was the American
Oh, that was.
thing. Yeah,
Oh,
this
okay.
was
Yeah.
British. Threads makes the day after look like an episode of Sesame
Is
Street.
that right?
Yeah, the day after that was popular back
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Everybody watched that.
Well, and it's Steve Gutenberg.
Well, yeah, you got Gutenberg in there. Can't go wrong, man.
Fresh off Police
No.
Academy.
And do you guys remember that audio of Reagan that was caught and then released? He was doing a mic check on a radio station. He said, "We've declared war against Russia. The bombs will be launched in 5 minutes."
Oh, that's right. He was being goofy.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
ha
Dear God.
yeah, nothing like a goofy president that's talking about launching missiles.
How was Reagan
Wow.
though? Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my.
So of course, that with the arms race, that was going on, and then there was talk of Star Wars as it was.
I remember that confusing the royal hell out of me as a kid too. I'm like, why are they talking about like Luke Skywalker
Right.
and Darth Vader
Right.
and shit? I'm like 7 years old when all this Reagan talk of Star Wars is
Wondering
going
what
on.
kind of shenanigans the Jawas are up to.
Yeah. Like what is the Empire coming to attack us here? Or what?
And of course, Star Wars was the space orbiting kind of thing that would shoot down nuclear weapons. It was
Yeah,
a
it was.
concept. It was,
We
that
thought
was
this was the wave of the future. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
Satellite laser defense grid.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Wow, nice work there.
God.
Jawas is the only thing I could come up with.
Stormtroopers.
Stormtrooper action.
I was big into politics in the 80s. I went to a small school in St. Paul called Open School. It was basically hippies and freaks, and
Oh, cool.
so I fit in well. But we were very politically active there, and by the time I was 16, I was already, huffing stuff for for elected candidates and all kinds of stuff like that.
Oh,
Wow.
you said
Huffing stuff. I was like, whoa.
Like,
Huffing gasoline and
I was already huffing, paint.
Well, somebody had to do it, so they couldn't.
Right.
doing it for the kids.
And of course, one of the major, the economical thing with Reagan was Reaganomics. Or trickle down economics, of course, which was
Or
help the wealthy and it'll work itself
It'll
out.
work itself out.
Yeah. So
It'll all start at the top and
if we give tax breaks to the wealthiest people, it'll eventually help the economy and help the poorest
And help the little guy.
Yeah.
well, which is fine as long as they don't keep it all.
Right.
Well, Reagan also did tons of deregulation. You guys remember him firing all of the air traffic controllers?
Yeah. There was the
Wow.
strike, the air traffic controller strike, and he fired
Vaguely
them all.
remember that.
Yeah, he fired them all.
Did all of you get the hell out of here?
No.
You don't want to work? Well, here's the door. Well,
I don't know, was it? I think it might have been Clinton who deregulated the FCC.
That was both Clinton and Reagan.
Were both of them? Okay, I thought maybe Reagan had something to do that.
okay.
Deregulation of what exactly? I couldn't tell you.
I wish I could remember the name of the guy, but it was a very out flamboyant gay guy who played Nancy Reagan on SNL.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
dead on,
Yeah.
man. But I can't remember the guy. Oh, it was great. I just can't remember the guy's name. God, for the life of me, I cannot remember his name. It was in the Eddie Murphy castle right around that time.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Oh, he was
that.
outstanding.
Yeah, he's one who just kind of fell into obscurity after he left the show.
Yeah, he did, but then Nancy was so spot on. It was great.
I don't remember a
Yeah.
dude playing Nancy
And
Reagan.
he had this thin, long face, and
Yeah.
I mean, it just worked.
Which actually,
Wow.
in my notes, brings us, well, I guess it's Nancy. I guess.
Well, we can't forget Michael Dukakis.
Oh,
Well,
God,
that's-
yeah.
Yeah.
And the biggest electoral win in the United States history
Oh,
for
yeah.
the re-election of Reagan.
That was just an ass whooping.
Yeah, because Mondale,
Right.
that was the 84 election. That was Mondale and Geraldine
The
Ferraro.
first woman to run for
Yeah,
that
and that was
high of an office.
1984. The presidential elections against, Reagan and Mondale and Ferraro. And that was a big deal.
That was the first time I think I heard the word landslide used a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've got visual aids.
Well, there were only two places that went for Mondale,
Okay.
and that was Washington, D.C. itself and Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yeah, his home
Wow.
state. His home
Really?
state, yes. So
Yeah.
here,
Jesus.
That's bad.
Reagan even got
Reagan pretty much won in
Good
a landslide
Lord.
in 1980. Well, in 1980, because Carter here I've got visual aids, which probably.
Well, that's Reagan versus
Yeah.
Carter
This is
there. Okay,
Carter, this is
1980.
AIDS. Carter got 49 electoral votes.
Oh, he won his home state. It looks
In
like he won Georgia.
Minnesota, it looks like West Virginia,
That's nice.
a couple of other smaller New England states. And Reagan got Hawaii. Carter got
Max.
Hawaii. Reagan had 489 electoral votes in the 1980 election. And then in 1984, like Mike said, was it Mondale? Won his home state of Minnesota and Washington, D.C. So that's like,
Wow.
Look at
that
that.
map is just like,
God.
crazy.
That is just.
That's when you just leave politics altogether.
That's
You
just.
see all that red there.
That is embarrassing.
If there's
Yeah.
a fuck it moment, that's it.
That's it. Whatever.
Wow.
We're not doing this
Holy
anymore.
Crap.
Mondale
Yeah.
got 13 of the electoral vote. And
Yeah.
then Reagan, of course, which was 538, which is the highest any
Yeah.
president has ever gotten. But surprisingly, Mondale got 40.5% of the popular vote. Which, I guess isn't too bad when all things are considered.
True.
So
I just saw a documentary on that election the other night. One of those half-hour long documentaries. It's called 16 for 16. It's
yeah.
a half-hour long documentary on all these different candidates,
Mhm.
what be it vice presidential, presidential. I saw the one on Geraldine Ferraro like last week. It was pretty interesting,
Yeah.
and, very for its time, for 1984, that was pretty
That was big.
pretty
Yeah.
progressive.
Yeah, extremely.
And she was pretty popular with a lot of people until she made some comment. There was some comment that she made about being married to an Italian man. Something like insinuating that she was like under his thumb or something like that. Anybody who's married to an Italian man, you know what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
God.
It was just one of those little gaps that everybody just takes it and runs with it.
Well, you're so
Mhm.
scrutinized at that level.
Yeah.
Even more so now.
Yeah. Well, unless you're Donald Trump.
Unless you're Trump, right.
Right. So, and then also after 1984, after his second campaign, well, I think maybe during the campaign, the question of Reagan's cognitive abilities, I guess, because his memory, it was apparent that maybe his memory was starting to slip. He was forgetting things. And
Well, he
stuff
was
like
doing
that.
silly things too, like Mike was talking about when he
Yeah,
Yeah.
the open mic.
the joke on the open mic.
Yeah.
Right.
And like
Yeah, but his basic Alzheimer's was starting to show.
Right.
Yes.
what? And there was a couple of times I remember where like he was talking about something on camera, and Nancy was standing next to him, and Nancy was like
Speaking in
whispering
his ear,
stuff
yeah.
over to him.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
like trying to remind him of what he was
Right.
supposed to be saying. You know.
Yeah.
Which is really sad. I mean, now that we kind of really
Know what
and are
was-
more
yeah.
aware of
At the-
Alzheimer's and what it's about.
Well, we didn't know then, but we
it
know
was-
now that
it was like a joke. It's
Right.
like, oh my god.
It just,
Yeah.
the old
old
guy's
guy.
just losing his, yeah.
But now we look back in retrospection, and it was Alzheimer's in its infancy for him.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, it's kind of sad.
Which it really degenerated. I mean, at the end, I believe Nancy was the only person he recognized.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, even
Yeah.
Yeah, and that wasn't even his first wife.
Right.
No, Barbara Stanwyck,
Right.
Yeah.
who was in Roustabout with Elvis.
Mhm.
Fucking Roustabout. Oh
Just
my
6
God.
degrees of separation here.
Yeah. And so I guess that kind of brings us to Nancy and her role, I guess, in youth culture of the time and the war on drugs and
Yeah.
Just say no. Just say no.
Just say no.
Different
Right.
strokes.
right.
She was on different strokes.
That's right, she
Oh,
was.
yeah.
Yep.
Yes, with Arnold and Willis.
Let's go back just 1 second, though,
Sure.
to the divorce from Stanwyck. If I'm not mistaken, he's still the only president that's ever been divorced. I don't think there's been
Probably.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody.
I
off
can't
the
think
top
of
my
anybody
head.
either.
The rest have just cheated on him.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And stuck together.
Right. So yeah, but there was Nancy and the Just Say No campaign, and as if it were, it was a joke because as if it's that easy, and haha, yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
no, not right
That-
now,
Right.
Yeah. That's also when they started up the smoke-free generation.
What?
Yeah.
It
Right.
was,
You could
it was just
you could call the phone number and get a free T-shirt that said "Smoke-free Generation."
Sounds awesome.
well, it was a different time. It was a much more naive time. It was like
naive.
Yeah.
like everybody was like, I don't want to say everybody was like borderline cool with drugs and everything like in the 70s, and then all of a sudden the 80s came around.
Cocaine and crack.
Cocaine
Yeah.
became a big
Yeah.
thing.
Crack
Crack.
became huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Yeah, crack got ugly back in
Yeah.
the 80s.
It did
And-
indeed.
when that happened, I think it became easier for the Reagans, two people who knew right in between Jack and shit about drugs, to come out and go, oh, this is all bad, and
Yep,
just
just
say
say
Just
no,
say
guys.
don't,
Yeah, it became easier because everybody started. There had been heroin deaths. There was John Belushi's death from speedballing, and people having all sorts of cocaine problems. Crack, like you said, came around.
Yeah, it was a full-blown epidemic at that
Yeah.
time.
Right.
Full-blown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
acid was also on a big upswing again.
Yeah.
Right. Is that?
Not that I participated.
I did tons of acid in the 80s. I really did.
Yeah.
I have no problem admitting it. I did. Lots.
Was it in the 80s or was it in the 90s? I should look this up when Derek was created for the.
That might be early 90s, but I'm not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
Is
90s.
it
Yeah.
okay? Because I know I wasn't, but I was, in the later 80s, I was in high school, so that's something that they target more towards elementary.
I mean, it was
school
just
kids.
it was on the same level of efficiency as just saying
Just
no.
say
Right,
no,
right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're telling, because I know my kids have been through it, and nowadays, and they're telling kids that cigarettes are drugs, and they're really, really bad, and then you have parents at home that smoke, and then you got your kids are coming home and telling you how you're doing drugs.
Right.
I learned it by watching you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
One of the greatest anti-drug PSAs of all time. Where did you learn how to do this stuff?
Oh
Where
yeah.
did you? You. I learned it by watching
That's
you.
right. Oh my God. Well, this is your
Wasn't that also the
egg?
glorious PSA of yes, this is your
Right.
brain. This is your brain on
this
drugs.
is your
Brain
brain
on
on
drugs.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, can I have some sausage?
scrambled.
My brain looks kind of good. Can
Now
you
that I'm
scramble it?
stoned, I could really go for that brain.
Yeah, I know. who was watching that stoned at home was probably like,
Just wait and cook some eggs.
some scrambled eggs. That sounds good right
Right.
now. Can I get some hash browns? Yeah.
And you know, in their disconnect of what was real, as well as the Just Say No campaign. About that time is when AIDS and HIV itself was huge, and itself became an epidemic, and their response was pretty much a lack of response about the situation. You know, a lot of
well, because it was a gay disease.
Hey, we did Hands Across America.
Yeah.
I participated in Hands Across America.
Yeah, it was
Did you do that?
No, because during Hands Across America, I lived in Hawaii, so
okay.
it would have been difficult.
A little bit, yeah. Just a tad bit.
Much shorter line.
Bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
I think, sinisterly enough, I think a lot of the attitude towards AIDS in the first part of the decade was pretty lax, just because it was seen as something from a lot of people that are just like, it'll get rid of gay people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, that's cool.
God punishing you.
Yeah. I think that's how it was seen in the
Right.
first half of the decade.
Well, the world was so different then, man. I
Yeah.
mean, nobody knew Rock Hudson was gay until he got AIDS. I mean, no one had any idea.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. And Liberace's big coming out, that didn't happen until later.
See, that's a guy who didn't need to come out at all.
I'm still dumbfounded. How is it that women were fooled for so many years?
I have with Liberace. Yeah, that's
Yes.
mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't get any more flamboyant than that.
Yeah,
Like,
Liberace.
lady, he's dressing more stylishly than you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and Elton John too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He didn't hide it.
Not really.
Not
no.
really. I mean, certainly not with what he wore.
But yeah, with the '70s rockin' thing, you know, I think he got a little bit of a pass on that because, you know, it was the '70s. and
Yeah,
look at glam rock and all
God,
that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Relax. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The boss on that is just stop. Stop. It's
He's
okay.
like, but I got stuff to say. I got shit to talk about.
It's okay.
I remember I was in 5th grade. I think this was like 1987. We were, it was some project where we had to come up with like a new medical thing, like medicine. And we were just coming up with it off the top of our head. A friend of mine made some stuff. He made a bottle. And it said on the label, it said, I can't remember what it was called, but it says, you know, cures AIDS and gayness. What? 100% guaranteed. And he got like and nobody said anything about it. Nobody said anything about it back then. He got like a good grade on it.
What a great idea.
Cures AIDS as if they're just hand in hand with each other.
If you write a paper like that now, you are news. You are national news, man. And
Like-
comedian fodder for sure.
It was like if you caught AIDS, you were just gonna like turn gay or something. And,
But hey, take that liquid, drink it. You're
Yeah.
good.
phew!
Ah, that was a close one.
Okay, and then of course towards the end of Reagan's political career, we have the Iran-Contra scandal, which of course was Oliver North.
Oliver
The fall guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically to blame, and what it was that we were providing arms for the Contra rebels to fight against the government in Nicaragua.
Yeah.
Was that in
Which had been
exchange for
specifically-
hostages,
No,
or was
It-
that?
it had specifically been outlawed by an act of Congress that you can't do that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they did it
they
anyway.
did it anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
I
And
just
it
remember
did
that-
also come out that he promised arms to Iran to
Mhm.
release the hostages.
That's right.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I
That's
just
where
remember
I
the
was.
hearings being on TV
All the
all
time.
the time.
Yes.
Oh, for a while there, yeah. When I was like 11 years old or so, that was all you heard about.
Oh,
on
you
freaking
heard
news.
about that was
Ollie
it.
North.
Ollie North. Ollie
Right,
North.
right,
Ollie
right.
North.
Yeah.
Took me a long time to realize Ollie North was not Treat Williams, because to me they were the same guy for a really, really long time. I had to separate those two at some point mentally. You know, speaking of politics, and you mentioned 87, in 86, I remember a video that was extremely political and really weird. It was that Phil Collins, but I can't remember the song. Was it Land of Confusion?
Oh, yeah.
Land of Confusion.
With the
Yeah.
puppets.
Yeah.
Land of Confusion. Yep.
Where Ronald Reagan hits the nuke button.
Yes.
At the end. Yeah.
Because I had just been admitted in a psychiatric place, and I was like 15 years old, so I already felt crazy. And then that goddamn video came on. I felt insane. Because I just remember looking at it and feeling crazy. It was a very cool video. I mean,
Yeah, it
visually, it was pretty cool. But I'm not. They had Reagan was in that video. There was a little Muppet of Reagan. There was a Muppet
Gorbachev.
of
Because him and
Mikhail
Nancy
Gorbachev.
were
Yeah.
laying down in bed together.
Yeah.
It's like- and the whole thing was Reagan's nightmare.
Yes.
Was the whole
that's
video.
right.
Yeah.
Because he's like thrashing around and it's
The
like
sweat
he's like
pouring out,
soaked.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
Oh my
because
God.
at the end he sits up and he was like completely underwater in his own sweat when he wakes
Yeah.
up. Yeah. And then he pushes the button. There was two buttons. One said nuke and the other said nurse. And he's just like, hey,
Whatever.
hits the nuke and then he's like, oh, that's some nurse we got there. And then Nancy hits him over the head with her snorkeler.
Wow.
That was
Man, you
wild.
remember that video a lot better than I do.
Yeah. I remember that video. Yeah. Must have made a mark on me.
Well, they
Hulk
played
Hogan
It
was in
did
it.
me
They
because
played
it was.
constantly too.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
a
Oh,
heavy
God.
rotation. Like,
Yeah, it
big
was.
time.
Well, I remember visually it was probably the coolest video I'd seen besides Sledgehammer at the time.
Same year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same year. That's right, it was.
And then of course following that there was the INF treaty where we finally the Cold War is starting to come to a close and Gorbachev
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What was it, the Brandenburg Gate, I think in Berlin is where that happened. And Gorbachev, I think he had a lot to do with it too because he enacted with Glasnost, is that right?
Yeah.
A little bit of more freedom
Yeah.
for the Soviet people in that. So that basically was in November of 1989, and this was 10 months after Reagan left. Yeah, like screw you, you're gonna shut me up. I'll go over here.
I know.
In November of 1989, it was 10 months after Reagan left office that the Berlin Wall
Oh, that
opened
it came
and
down.
it started to come.
I remember when
like
that happened too, because the high school foreign exchange student was paying a visit to our junior high English class, and she was from Germany.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and she was talking about, yes, I am very happy about that.
Wow.
That's my German.
That's your
accent.
German?
It's not as good as-
Surprisingly Russian.
To me like Dracula.
That's- I know.
Yeah, I was Count Dracula.
Yeah, I'm very happy. One wall coming down.
One brick.
Yeah.
Bricks. And then of course, then we have 1988 presidential campaign in 1988. No more Reagan. He's set out to pasture.
That was so weird to me, because he was the only president I had ever known
Oh, Reagan.
Oh, okay.
of
Yeah.
my entire life. I was not aware of presidents and all that until I was like 6 years old.
So
Right.
HW was just like, oh, who's the new guy?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of easy, I guess, because he was, of course, Reagan's vice president. So it was like the natural course of things. And it was like with me, it was odd for me to not have a vice president. It seemed to me run after that.
After that?
Yeah, which I guess pretty much is par for course. But we have the 88 campaign against George Herbert.
Michael Dukakis.
Herbert.
Wasn't
George Herbert Walker Bush won against Michael Dukakis, and was
HW, the smart bush.
right.
The Greek in the tank.
Do you guys remember from that election?
Max, come here.
I had completely forgotten about this until I saw his 16 for 16 the other night. Gary Hart.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Donna, what was her name?
Donna Rice.
Donna Rice.
Donna
You know,
Rice.
that dude.
And the name of the boat was something like Hanky Panky.
Monkey Business.
Monkey Business.
That
That's
was the best part. Was they
Oh
run
my
a
God.
boat called Monkey Business. I'm
Oh
pretty
my
sure
Lord.
one of either him or Donna Rice had a shirt on that said Monkey Business on it. Yeah, while she's sitting on his lap.
He was a legitimate candidate before that story blew up.
He was like on the fast track. They were like looking at him as another candidate.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Yeah.
And then that story just
and then
blew up.
that thing happened, and everybody was like, "Whoa, what
Yeah.
the heck?" And one of the big things that doomed him after that happened too was like 5 days after that whole thing broke out, there was this meeting with the press, and he snapped at the frickin' press, man. He's pointed his finger at him, and he's like, "I am here to talk about issues. I'm here to talk about things talking about the American people."
And they're like, "Hey, we're here to talk about monkey business."
yeah. And he snapped. He snapped
Did he?
at people, yeah, and yeah.
Never good for the campaign.
And then a few days later, he just dropped himself out.
Yeah.
He just quit
I remember him quitting. Yeah, I remember him being done.
because it's like with Hart, he's got to look back and go, "Man, I was on the fast track to the White House," but on the other hand, Donna Rice was pretty hot.
Yep, and I got me some monkey business.
You know, I suppose it comes out in the wash in the
Yeah.
end.
White House monkey business. White House monkey
And
business.
really, if you consider it, if he'd have run this year, he'd have made it for sure.
Oh yeah, nobody would have had a problem with monkey business this year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, monkey business would be small potatoes today. But Dukakis then against HW.
Yeah.
I still think of Lovitz when I think of Dukakis. John Lovitz from SNL, yeah.
Can't believe I'm losing to this guy.
Yeah, and a lot of people think the downfall of Dukakis was the one political ad he had, or when he was in the. Well, no, that wasn't his political ad. That was like an opposing ad, I guess, when they put him. He was in the tank.
He was in a tank with the tank driver's helmet on.
Yep.
He looked ridiculous.
As they always do.
Yeah, and
He
I
looked
know.
ridiculous because it looked like that helmet was too big for him. He looked
Right.
like some little kid driving a Power Wheels or
Yeah.
something, you know? He's got this goofy smile on his face. And
We're having fun.
yeah, I know, he did. He looked,
He was governor of, was it Massachusetts?
I think so,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And I
Was
know,
it Massachusetts, Mike? Do you remember?
I don't recall. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
He
either.
seems like he was northeast, though, yeah.
Definitely northeast.
Yeah,
should have put on there, but-
yeah. I don't know. I can't remember. I
don't
can't
remember
recall.
exactly what the
I-
controversy was of that shot. It was. I don't think it was because he just looked dorky, but I think there was like some contradicting factor of him. I don't know if he actually fought in Vietnam or was like
I don't
or
think so.
didn't or
No,
something
he
like
did
that.
not. He was landside.
Right.
He never got out of the United States during Vietnam.
So I don't know if that
Okay.
just kind of added insult to injury and you know, what do you know about war and how could you be strong to lead, you know,
Yeah,
the station, this
okay.
kind of crap. So
He's
I
in
don't
that,
think it was just because he looked silly.
in that documentary. Even the woman who was working on his campaign back then, they interviewed her. And she was like still embarrassed about it to this day.
Oh my
She's still
God.
embarrassed about it.
What we were
That's
thinking.
awful.
I mean, yeah, he looks silly. You know, when they showed the thing, and I'm sitting there, I was like, I know even today I was kind of laughing about it.
Well,
but
the
it's
whole
not,
country was laughing at
It's
it.
not.
when
It's
it
not
happened.
that bad to
No.
where it should sink his campaign or anything. I just think he was kind of boring.
I think that's a big part of it. Yes.
He's just kind
Well,
of like this.
also a big part of it is that he told the truth about what he was going to do when he got into office, and Bush told people what they wanted to hear.
Right.
That's true.
And which
Very true
probably
there.
came to his demise for
Yeah.
his one termer. And I can't help but not think of Dana Carvey and Saturday Night
Oh,
Live
God.
and his Bush impersonation.
Read my lips.
No.
Stay the course. Stay the course.
On-
100 points of
track.
light.
Yeah. 1,000
1,000
points of light.
Yeah.
Stay the course.
To recap, 1,000 points of light, stay the course.
And the no new taxes, of course, was the last nail in the coffin probably for him and his own party, because he gave into pressure from the Democrats about raising taxes, and he had basically had to eat crow and go back on his word on that, which
The whole read my lips thing,
right,
yeah.
no new taxes and
I think it's funny that Bush had Carvey come to the White House.
right.
Hey, do me. I want to see that again.
This is funny here. Okay,
Pretty stuff.
roll. Let's see it.
Because I heard Carvey talk about how bizarre it was that Bush was requesting him to do the impersonation right there.
Well, it's funny because I've seen a clip of Bush from like I believe it was like the 80 election where he actually kind of sounded like the Dana Carvey
Really?
impression
Not
of
gonna
himself.
do it. Not gonna do it.
Where he was talking about was he talking about immigrants? It was some video talking about how much the Republican Party has changed on immigrants over the years and everything.
Okay.
It was him, like, you know, lending a sympathetic ear towards immigrants.
This
and
during his
everything.
presidency?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like as him and Reagan were gonna come into office there, and he kind of sounded
Really?
like
Like
the Dana
Carvey's?
Carvey impression. That was the closest I ever heard him come to it.
That's what I loved about that impersonation. It was so over the top. It could not have been more exaggerative.
Yeah, it's like Carvey took the human being
Yeah.
and turned him into a cartoon
Right,
character,
yes.
basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
gonna
Not
do
gonna do
it.
Yeah, and he had his own faults, I guess. I mean, there was the time. What was it? Was it Japan or China where he puked on
He puked on like the prime minister or
Or-
something like that.
China or
Yeah,
Japan or
Really?
something.
I don't
Oh,
remember that at all.
Oh my God, that was just like, and I don't know when that happened. That might have actually technically been in the 90s, but they were it was huge state dinner. He was sitting right next to one of the prime ministers of Japan or
Oh my.
China.
I think it was like 91 or something like that.
And he was really sick.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
He was very ill.
He barfed on the
He,
guy,
like,
that's
just
right.
Still, though.
Like that.
Do you know
So,
how much he wanted to press reset on that moment? You don't get that back, man. That's done.
Which kind of, was a national embarrassment. So that probably
Oh.
didn't help his campaign in
Oh, I'm
92
sure
at
it
all.
didn't.
So.
You know, I agree with Craig, though, about Dukakis, the boring factor. And I think Al Gore kind of had the same thing.
Yeah.
There was just nothing charismatic about
No.
him at all.
Right.
No, Dukakis was just like this swell fella
Yep.
who was coming out. He was like some guy who teaches algebra at the local high
Yes,
school
exactly.
or something.
And
you know?
you knew. Somehow you knew he wasn't going to win. You just knew there was
Yeah.
no way.
Because HW,
We lost Mike.
oh no.
Oh, no.
I thought he was pretty quiet for
Yeah.
a while there.
What happened?
Somehow you just knew Dukakis wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It had a feeling. I don't know.
They talked about that in that documentary too. It was
Really?
just like,
He just didn't seem presidential.
no, it was just
Like you said, he seemed like a guy that teaches algebra.
there was nothing special about HW or anything. It was just
No.
there was nobody that after Hart dropped out, it was just like there was nobody that the Democratic Party could seriously
Contend with.
put
no.
up and beat
Right.
HW with.
No. But I do remember Hart. He was a legitimate candidate, man. I mean,
Yeah,
His candidate, he was doing great.
he was big shit.
He was
Yeah.
big shit. I forgot about the boat.
Monkey business. I just remembered the
It's
name of it.
hysterical.
The name of it too, because of a Mad magazine that I had.
Really?
That had a cartoon of it. Yeah, Monkey business. They had a cartoon drawn of Donna Rice sitting on Gary Hart's lap.
That was probably around the same time that there was another infidelity story. The Tammy Faye Baker and Jim. That was crazy.
Oh, Jessica
Crazy.
Hahn.
Yes, that's hot.
She was hot.
Good
yeah.
Lord.
And she was like working as like a secretary
Secretary
in this
there.
church.
Yeah. I
Talk
know.
about getting men in there thinking sinful thoughts in a church.
Seriously.
Good God.
Because Sam Kinison put her in one of his videos.
Wild thing.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mike's just said that his internet just web to shit, which I assume he means went.
Went.
Okay.
So I I asked him if he can get it back. We'll continue on if he.
Okay.
My internet got webbed, man.
So
Spider-Man's in there causing trouble.
of course we can't talk about President Bush without talking about Vice President Dan Quayle.
Yeah.
And the guy who was pretty much born with his foot in his mouth.
True.
He
Aside
was-
from what he said, though, when I think of Quayle, I instantly think of Michael J. Fox playing Quayle on SNL. And the whole thing with that bit was that, you know how a president says something and everybody stands up and applauds?
Yeah.
He was doing it. He was standing up when they weren't standing up and going up and down. That's my first thought when I think of Quayle.
Yeah, he was
Potato.
he was doofy.
He was.
Quayle was
Well, I have some quotes here from Dan Quayle.
He looked good though. People thought. I think he reminded people of Redford in The Candidate because he had the blonde hair, and I think
he kind of looked a little
he
Robert
did.
Redford-ish.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he just started.
Then he started
dumb
talking.
shit. Right. Then he opened his fucking mouth.
Then he started talking. It was like Sarah Palin.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's like, "Whoa, holy crap, Sarah Palin!" Then she comes up and she's like, "Well, hey there, gal, dang it, you know,
Right.
I read all the magazines."
Sadly for Sarah Palin, Tina Fey's impersonation could not be more dead on.
Oh my god.
Sure.
Okay, so
Tell those Russians.
I woke up seeing Russians in the morning. Sure. Get out of here.
okay, so this is Dan Quayle. This is a direct quote from Dan Quayle, and I get all of the
Quayle quotes. Yay.
I've gotten this from Wikipedia, so
Okay.
it's not like I went out and did this research. So just full disclosure. On the Holocaust, Dan Quayle said,
Oh no.
the Holocaust was an obscene period in our nation's history. No, not our nation's, but World War II. I mean, we all lived in this century. I didn't live in this century, but in this century's history. And then on to say that, and it says, I have made good judgments in the past. I have made good judgments in the future. That's another one.
That guy's great.
And here we have a quote from when he addressed the United Negro College Fund.
Oh God.
Jesus
whose
Christ.
slogan is "A mind is a terrible thing to waste," where he said, "You take the UNCF model, that what a waste it is to lose one's mind, or not to have a mind is being very wasteful. How true is that?"
Oh.
I remember that one.
I remember that one
remember
too.
that one.
I wouldn't have been able to. Yeah, but I remember.
And then
God, you know, Bush was like, "You're gonna have to stop talking. We need you to shut up
Okay, Dan.
for the rest. Dan,
Appreciate what you're doing, but
you're gonna have to stop. No more talking the remainder of my presidency."
and for a while there, and I think pretty much every president, it seems like Mars is the place to go. So Bush had this initiative, a Mars initiative, and when he was asked, Quayle was asked his thoughts on sending humans to Mars, and many responses from that is one of them. Mars is essentially in the same orbit as Earth. Mars somewhat the same distance from the sun, which is very important. We have seen pictures where there are canals, we believe, and water. If there is water, that means there's oxygen. If there's oxygen, that means we can breathe. So his scientific best.
Wow.
Putting that on. So that,
I just love that. I had good plans in the future. I do.
Good
I've looked at
judgments.
my future. and I've got some pretty good plans.
He made good judgments.
Yeah, good judgments.
Good
judgments in the
judgments.
future.
Yeah. That's gold. God, I
Oh,
forgot that he had that many dumb things that he said.
yeah, I
Jesus.
know. I know because at that age, I really didn't pay that close attention. It's like that quote he had about the Holocaust, the way he was talking and rambling. Well, not me, but
I know.
He sounds like Bert from
Somebody I know.
Soul there.
So,
Well, you know what I mean. I mean, not exactly here, but there. You know,
Bert
I mean,
Campbell's so
you know.
nervous and crazy.
So
Possibly my favorite character from that show.
So that pretty much brings us to the end of the decade as the Bush years. The Bush one goes into '92, and we all know what happened from there.
You had your Gulf War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First Gulf War. So we would kind of
Scud missiles.
running on time here. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention from the 1980s, a painful thing that we're having to deal with today, of course, is Donald Trump.
Oh God.
And
Oh, yeah.
This is the 1980s were basically the rise.
I associate him
Donald
with
Trump.
boxing from that era.
Like the Trump Plaza.
Yeah, Trump
and all that.
Plaza,
Yeah.
and he was. I mean, he was seen with Ali. He was seen with Holmes. He was always seemed to be around. You always
Yeah.
seemed to see Don King and Donald Trump around.
Yeah.
back then.
A meeting of the minds
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah, and he basically, like you see, had 1981, he purchased a building that would become Trump Plaza, 3rd Avenue in New York City. In '83, he completed the development of Trump Tower,
Mm-hmm.
and which actually, and I found this interesting, there was a Bonwit Teller flagship store that was in this building. There was a building on that site when he purchased it, and he demolished it in 1980 after purchasing the site. When he said it, apparently was just like a really quite an architectural Art Deco
For the time, yeah.
from
Right.
From the Art Deco time that people were concerned. Well, there were some sculptures that he had promised he was going to
Oh,
remove
okay.
and give them to a museum,
Okay.
but he just
That didn't
tore it
happen.
all down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was some controversy about, it says 200 undocumented Polish immigrant workers who were reportedly were paid $4 to $5 per hour in the 80s, 1980, to work 12-hour shifts. And they basically lived on the site at the
Really?
time, and they were coined the Polish Brigade.
Wow.
Right.
When was that thing where what happened in Central Park where those teenagers were accused of
Falsely accused of
woman?
killing that girl.
And-
Yeah.
And Trump came out in the media and was like, they ought to take every one of those kids and hang them and blah 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 blah.
Did
was
he
like,
really?
yeah, and then it turned out they were
They were
innocent.
innocent.
Yeah, because
Oh,
he came out and was like, they
God.
ought to execute every one of them. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you'd have to look that up, but he had some pretty strong words to say
Yeah.
about that before the whole case was settled.
Yeah, the Central Park thing.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I remember a few years back, before the whole presidential thing, where Bill Maher made a comparison. It was during the birther thing that where Trump was talking about. Show us the birth certificate, Obama. Show it to us. You weren't born in the United States.
Yeah.
And Maher on his show had a picture comparing Donald Trump to an orangutan, talking about your hereditary origins and everything, and it was good because the orangutan's hair was like all blown
Right.
forward,
And it's orange.
and they kind of had
Yeah.
that same look on their faces, like ooh,
Yeah.
And Donald Trump just had a fit, as you can imagine, about Bill Maher. He's like threatening to sue him and all this stuff. And Maher came on the Tonight Show that one night. I remember he's like, I can't even believe this is a thing right now. He's like, I'm in a feud with a billionaire from the 80s. He's like, it's like I'm in a celebrity feud with J.R. Ewing.
And that's how I always saw him.
Yeah,
He's kind of like J.R. Ewing. He's
Yeah.
like he's not even real. He's totally turned into a cartoon now.
Oh, I
but
know.
But he kind of was then too. I remember him looking like an idiot back then. I still thought he looked like an idiot.
Right.
The hair.
The hair was still.
It was still bad
pretty
back then.
Yeah.
It's worse now, but it was bad then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He always looked kind of goofy.
yeah.
Yeah. So then he had a number of properties that opened up in 1984. We had the Harrah's at Trump Plaza in Atlantic City, which Harrah's apparently left, and it just was Trump
And it
Castle.
became Trump. Yeah.
And his wife Ivana, which is too bad Mike left because he had a Ivana story.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
See, I remember Marla Maples when
Was
they
that
were. They hosted a couple of WrestleManias back in the day when I was a wrestling fan, and they did, and they had all sorts of promos leading up to WrestleMania with Donald Trump and Marla Maples.
I kind of remember that actually.
Yeah,
Was
Okay.
Marla a first wife, or who was? Or,
she wasn't his
or is
first
Ivana
wife.
the first wife, or
Who came first, Marla or Ivana? I don't know.
Oh wait, Ivana. I don't know.
Ivana Trump. See, I remember
Ugh.
Ivana more.
I think
than
it might have been
Marla.
Ivana.
I think yeah.
Yeah, and then Marla Maples. Yeah.
And then we have him acquiring the Trump or the Plaza Hotel in 1988, and then of course the Trump Taj Mahal Casino in Atlantic
Yeah.
City.
For business, he was all over the news. I mean, he was just all over the news in
Yeah.
the 80s.
Yeah,
More than any rich guy I can think of. I mean, Ross Perot too, but more so Donald Trump.
yeah.
I remember
Everybody
him,
knew who Donald Trump was.
I remember him being on Oprah. My
Yeah.
mom used to watch Oprah all the time. She used to watch Geraldo all the time.
Oh,
too.
I did too.
So the Taj Mahal opened. It was completed and opened in 1990, and then say the next year he filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy because of it. It was the most expensive casino ever built.
Really?
A total cost of $1.1 billion. And it
Wow.
was, financed with junk bonds.
And that's back then.
That's back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's $675 million
Wow.
in junk bonds at a 14% rate.
Good
is what
Lord.
helped finance it, and of course, it just all crumbled. And of course, he had his book, which he still touts to this day, The Art of the
The
Deal.
Art of the Deal.
Published in 1987.
That was a bestseller for a long fucking time.
Grab it. Grab that deal by the and make it happen. Make it happen.
Have him on the cover going like that.
So that rounds out
Politics.
politics in the 80s.
I hate that Mike got webbed.
Yeah, I know. I was sitting there thinking, I was like, God, he got quiet all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I was like, huh? That's kind of what I thought, maybe. So, unfortunately, sorry, Mike.
Yeah, see, for us, it's so strange because this speaker is like turned
This is
into
Mike.
Mike. Yeah.
It's almost like the robot in Rocky IV.
Yeah. Or that robot from Buck Rogers and beady.
I know. I almost feel like this thing could start walking around a little bit.
I think
Beady.
Mike Headroom would be a good.
Yeah, Mike Headroom. Sure.
Whoa, there's an 80s reference.
I
Max
know,
Headroom.
seriously.
So.
Drink Coke.
All right, well, thanks for tuning in if you indeed tuned in. Otherwise, I guess we've just been talking to ourselves.
Thank
for-
you.
Now I feel like this thing is going to go.
There's a line
Little goodbye.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, pooch, cooch.
Thanks for watching. We'll be back again live in 2 weeks. Hopefully, knock on wood, if everything goes well. I don't know what we'll be talking about, but, like us on Facebook so you can get a heads up on what we're talking about next time.
All right.
So thank you much.
Keep
See
it
you,
real.
everybody.
Keep it real. Pack that steel. Tupac line.
God, dude,